Our government is pulling a phase save the kids. They're pulling a save the kids. Do you remember back in the day when phase, all like the phase guys and like those YouTubers back today were promoting the save the kids, and they scam their fans? That's what our government's doing. So they're trying to sign in a bill called the Online Safety Act, which is going to allow user ID on the, or it was going to mandate you to be 18 years or older to access certain platforms. So like apps like Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, all these apps, right? Maybe not Twitter, are going to force you to have to use your ID or basically be older than and show proof that you're older than 18 to access apps. Now, surface level, when you hear that, you're like, oh, that's actually good news so that minors aren't consuming bad content. But then you start to realize, like, wait a minute, if they have to do this, right, and they solidify this as a necessity, then they can use end-to-end encryption to subvert our privacy, and now we're forced to give them our information, which is just honing in on our own private personal stuff. So like on Twitter, they claim that the act forces over removal of legal content under the threat of penalties and chilling legitimate expressions. Things that are just normal are going to now be considered bad info or bad consumable content for children or people in general. So the end-to-end privacy encryption risk would allow for the scan of private messages, weaken the end-to-end encryption, which undermines user privacy, and critics argue that it mandates backdoors that could be exploited by hackers or governments. Everybody knows that these companies are not the best in terms of exploitation. Remember back in the day, Anonymous Lizard Squad, which is hacking PS4 all the time? And like the T app just got hacked. All these things are so hackable, right? So your information is just kind of out during these data breaches. And it's like, so if that's the case, if you're now mandating this, now they're forced to even have to have this. Now everyone is even more implicated in these forms of content. So shadow exchanges between technological companies, technological secretaries, Peter Kyle, and figures like Nigel Farage, they're the ones who have escalated the tensions between this, accusing opponents of siding with predators and calling the act authoritarian, which it is, right? So this is basically going to allow it and make it and basically force us to have government mandated ID when you're using the internet. And it's going to happen sooner than you even realize. We're going to have ID on the internet no matter what it is. Okay. So when you want to make that YouTube channel, you're going to have to take that picture, etc. Right? It's going to make heavy-handed regulation. Okay. So massive fines and compliance costs will likely drive platforms offshore or kill them off entirely, which bottom line, that's just not good. Okay, it's never going to be good enough for people to continue to have to give this much amount of information just to be on the platform. Now, I do think that there are different ways we can figure this out. How can we figure out how to make it as safe as possible? Maybe, moderation or monetization for platforms with certain content is not allowed. Maybe certain things in terms of we have more moderators moderating content, or we have better algorithms outsourcing content to individuals. But their personal ID makes it so they can hone in and sell this information, because that's how this works. It's not about the fucking kids. They don't care about kids. They're figuring out a way that they can exploit data breaches, which is disgusting. So your governments day-to-day are proactively acting in censorship, malice content, and trying to basically steal all your information as fast as possible so that they don't have to capitulate when they end up selling it on the dark web. And honestly, it's sad, it's disgusting, and once again, we have another corrosive invasion of politics taking a partake in internet usage. Here we go, guys. There we go. The mandate of ID. Let's go, guys. I can't wait to send in all my information, and hopefully I don't sell myself on the web. We're just a bunch of ooh, we're just a bunch of internet whores. Ooh, we're just a slut. We're just slut content at this point. We're stuck in here. We're in prison. Ah, get me out. Get me out of jail. I need to get out. I need to get out of jail free card, please, bro. I can't, bro. Like, the fact that this is even a thing, we're basically forcing us. They're forcing us into capitulation for their Online Safety Act, which is effectively forcing us to sell ourselves. We're selling ourselves out, and they're disguising it as helping children, which is just disgusting. Their motive is so, it's like, you're really going to hide this behind that? You're going to hide this behind saving kids when really you're trying to just use this for data encryption, when you can easily up the moderation or change the monetization programs. Like, just how YouTube just in general is like changing the AI thing. So like AI generated content isn't going to give you as much monetization as possible, or they're going to demonetize it overall. Just like that, right? Where we need actual real YouTubers, like face-to-face cam YouTubers. The same thing is going to be slightly, it's going to be slightly different, but it's, you could use the same system where, you know, you devote people from, or disavow people from using the content, or using or making content in a certain way, so that if people are encouraged to post that content, right? If you're monetizing bad stuff, like things that are often posted on X, then obviously people are going to continue to post bad things. So you should just make sure the moderation is correct, right? So they're trying to use this as like, oh, we're trying to save the kids. By the way, kids see all types of crazy shit. Now, that doesn't mean that it's good, but let's just be honest. Jimmy's going to use a VPN if he wants to see something that he shouldn't see, right? But the problem is that they're using this like encryption. It's like, oh yeah, you're going to be forced to use it. So we're basically pushing faster and faster to government mandated ID on the internet. And so just go ahead and wait until it happens, because it's inevitably going to happen. Okay. With that being said, that's really it. The Online Safety Act is a fake bill they're trying to pass in order to hone in on your encrypted data and your private and personal information. That's it. That's all it's ever been. Okay. That being said, Team H&K, stay safe. Okay. And yeah, stay safe when you're surfing the web. Okay. I'll see you guys when you're older. Peace. Ah.